Hi, my name is Seba, and welcome to my best buys of 2024, featuring products that include skincare, makeup, and fashion. This video is a little late. It's pretty well into 2025, but I still wanted to do it. So this year I purchased a lot of new products from a lot of different companies, many small businesses, and that differs from my usual purchasing habits. Usually I buy the same products and have been loyal to some of the same brands for many years. The reason for the change is because a lot of those bigger brands that I used to buy no longer aligned with my values. Specifically, they support a country that is based on isolation and separation of an entire people, an entire ethnic group. And by doing so, they have violated repeatedly those individuals' human rights, as declared by many organizations such as Amnesty International, as well as the United Nations. That particular country, who we are allies with here in America, whom we contribute many of our tax dollars to, are committing a lot of atrocities. I have never been one to boycott brands or stop purchasing from companies due to humanitarian or political reasons. So this is a new thing for me, but it is something that is important to me. And rules of boycotting include making a company know that you are boycotting them and why. One of the companies that I boycotted is CeraVe. CeraVe is a company that I recommended to all of my friends, family, and I recommend that product to a lot of my patients because it is an excellent product. Because I am very concerned about a professional bias with the CeraVe products, I do still recommend them to my patients. I feel like they are some of the best and most affordable products on the market for the majority of my patients' skin concerns. But I do now, alongside with mentioning CeraVe, I do mention some of the products that I use currently and that I recommend. But there is no doubt that CeraVe is an excellent line of skincare. It provides unbelievable skincare that is very difficult for a lot of companies, American companies at least, to compete with. The reason I decided to boycott CeraVe is because CeraVe is actually owned by L'Oreal, and L'Oreal has a factory located in Israel, the country that is committing all of these atrocities to an entire ethnic group. And that's stated as per the United Nations, Amnesty International, and a bunch of charitable organizations. It sounds rather odd for me to be boycotting a company just because they have a factory there, but there are a lot of ties with the company L'Oreal and that particular country that, to me, and to a lot of people that understand the situation, show that this particular company is okay with these atrocities being committed to these people. So for that reason, I personally no longer use any L'Oreal owned products, which actually is a lot. And I understand mentioning this in a video jeopardizes me. I have always wanted to create content, and I've always wanted opportunities. One of my dream companies to work with actually was CeraVe, and I know that brands might not want to work with people who are being outspoken about many issues, particularly this one. So I do understand the consequence of me mentioning this, and also I feel like me mentioning this is off-putting to an audience, but it is something that I think is important to me, and The way that I would be able to contribute to this particular situation going on in the world, as well as other situations, is with my pockets, with my money. So I am happy to make these small choices for these people. And I hope you find my best buys of 2024 exciting as I do, especially if you have some of the same interests. So without further ado, I'm going to get into these purchases, starting with skincare. The holy grail of skincare, tretinoin. This is 1% tretinoin. It is the highest concentration of tretinoin that's available via prescription. Just so that you know, I did work up to this concentration, starting from available retinoids available over the counter, specifically Differin, and then I moved up to tretinoin 0.025%, 0.05%, and now 0.1%. And this has helped my skin a lot. Tretinoin is a very well-studied active ingredient in skincare. It helps stimulate collagen production and increases cell turnover, which helps with acne and wrinkles, as well as hyperpigmentation and skin texture. Next are the Cystane lubricating gel eye drops. These I recommend to friends, family, and patients. It is a consistency that is between the regular eye drops, which is more of a watery consistency, as well as an eye ointment, which is very hydrating. Because it's a thicker solution, it can cause a little bit of blurry vision for a few minutes, and it does crust on the eyelashes, which is just something to be aware of, especially if you're someone like me with a darker hair color. It is something that is easily remediated with mascara, but I understand not everyone can do that, especially on a daily basis. So you can try applying it at night and gently removing the drops just from your lashes without rubbing your eyelids in the morning. They are very hydrating, super lubricating, cooling on the skin, and you feel the effects if you suffer from dry eyes immediately. These drops are not preservative-free eye drops, which might be not as tolerated by people who have severely sensitive eyes, but for the vast majority of people, this works wonderfully. Next is the Bioderma micellar water. I was looking for an alternative to the CeraVe micellar water, and this did not disappoint. I do like this a lot. I use this as an extra step to remove my makeup. Next, I purchased a bunch of Beauty of Joseon products. They are a Korean skincare brand. I purchased this cleansing balm, numerous different sunscreens, as well as the under eye cream. The cleansing balm, it works wonderfully. It is just as good, if not better, than the CeraVe. The sunscreen does irritate my eyes a little bit. That is normal for me to experience. The eye cream contains the active ingredient of retinol. I have heard a lot of plastic surgeons as well as dermatologists here on the internet recommending against eye cream, stating that eye cream is a glorified moisturizer, but for me, I feel really uncomfortable dragging actives into my eyelid area, and I actually did use just moisturizer on my eyelids, and I noticed significant crepiness and wrinkles that developed around my eye area that I did not have previously, and they developed just a couple weeks after stopping using an eye cream with actives. I resumed using my eye cream with actives specifically, and I did notice an improvement in my eyelid skin, but it has not completely resolved my issues that arose from initially stopping my eye cream. Could it be from initially stopping the previous eye cream. Could it be aging? It's hard to say. I think it's the eye cream. I think it's from not using an eye cream for a period of time, because I listened to those plastic surgeons and dermatologists, but I found what works best for me. Just keep in mind with all of these skincare products I am recommending and am saying that are my best buys of 2024 work great with my skin, which is pretty dry, very sensitive, a little mature, but everyone's skin is different, and understand that you have to use skincare products for 4 to 6 weeks before making a judgment about their effectiveness for you and for your skin. Of course, some people might develop a reaction to products earlier than that, and if that occurs, either switch to a different product. Next is the very viral silicone mouth tape. This is by Medvance. When I use it, it really helps me breathe through my nose, which actually helps me have a deeper sleep. I have purchased it repeatedly since starting trying it. When I do apply it, I try and smile and part my lips as much as possible without opening my mouth to expose my mucosa to the tape to minimize the pulling of the skin around my lip. It does still pull the skin around my lip, which is something that I understand that the tape does. Also, when the tape is removed, it is extremely drying and irritating to my lips, so I constantly have to apply petroleum jelly, also known as Vaseline, to my lips throughout the day to counteract the dryness and the irritation that occurs with using this mouth tape. Next is Remedy for Pore Size. This is a chemical exfoliant, and it exceeded my expectations for sure. This contains several active ingredients such as retinol, which again promotes skin turnover, and salicylic acid, which is a chemical exfoliant. It helps exfoliate the very superficial layer of your skin, revealing smoother skin and helping address things like sebaceous filaments, textured skin, wrinkles. I like to use this product every other night when I'm not using my tretinoin. So Remedy is a brand that's created by a very famous dermatologist, Dr. Shah. This is Remedy for body bumps. It contains quite a few active ingredients. It contains encapsulated retinol. It also contains lactic acid, another chemical exfoliant, as well as ceramides, which help support your skin barrier, and urea, which also helps exfoliate the skin. So I have been very impressed with Dr. Shah's products and his brand, Remedy. Next, I was looking for an alternative to the La Roche-Posay spot treatment. I think it is a terrific spot treatment for acne. It contains benzoyl peroxide as well as a chemical exfoliant, AHA. So to duplicate the product for myself, I purchased a benzoyl peroxide cream, and then I mix it in with the Remedy for Pore Size, and I think that is an excellent spot treatment. It is a little bit more pricey than the La Roche-Posay, and I don't think it works as well, but it's okay. I think that making these substitutes for myself has been a blessing. There are thankfully so many businesses out there that allowed me to find alternatives to the brands and the products that I loved previously. So thank you to those businesses. You are very appreciated. Next is the brand Vanicream. I just found out about this brand this year. I do like it. It is great for sensitive skin and accepted by the National Eczema Association. And this is a product that I recommend now alongside CeraVe to my patients. Like I said, I still recommend CeraVe to my patients. I think it's an excellent product, and I really don't want to have a professional bias when there is a product out there that is cheap, affordable. You don't have to mix it in together with any other products. That I think is a great benefit to my patients. So I still recommend it to my patients. I just no longer use it personally. The Vanacream I use with a moisturizer that contains ceramides, which help protect the skin barrier, and hyaluronic acid, which helps promote skin moisture. For hygiene, I also repurchased my Philips Sonicare toothbrush. My previous one had died after many years of use. Taking care of your teeth is definitely a very important thing to do. Moving on to hair products, I purchased the Crown Affair silk scrunchies. I used to use the Slip silk scrunchies, which is also 100% silk, but I purchased these because these are said to stretch out less than the Slip scrunchies, which I feel like the Crown Affair silk scrunchies do stretch out over time. I have used these Slip scrunchies for far longer than I have used the Crown Affair scrunchies, so they are of course going to be more stretched out than the Crown Affair scrunchies. So we'll see how these scrunchies stand the test of time. I still really like this product. I feel like it's more gentle on the hair. However, it's not very glamorous to be wearing outside, despite the fact that I do wear this out most days. Moving on to makeup, I love the Perricone MD Instant Blur Primer. This is a primer that I use for everyday makeup. On a daily basis, I use makeup that provide a lot of skin-friendly ingredients, and this has a lot of beneficial ingredients for the skin. I have been using this product for years, and again, I think it is excellent, as evidenced by how much is left in this case. Much of the makeup that I wear when I go out and that I wore for this video does break me out. I feel like if I use it for a prolonged period of time, my skin is duller, I break out, I have more texture in my skin, and I just don't like the appearance of my skin. I do have very textured skin as is. However, I do wear makeup regularly. It's a lot lighter coverage, which I'm fine with on a daily basis, because I do feel more confident with a little bit of makeup on, and I'm okay with my natural skin peeking through the texture and all on a daily basis. So I have been trying and loving the Kosas concealer. This provides very light coverage. However, it is also a skincare infused product. When I use it, I definitely prefer how my underlying skin looks like. So these are some terrific products that I've been using every day. Next, I purchased the RMS Beauty mascara, which contains a peptide, which is a relatively beneficial ingredient for your lashes. I do really like this product. It does irritate my eyes a little bit. Most mascaras do that. However, despite the fact that this is not waterproof and relatively easy to remove, it doesn't flake or smudge throughout the day, which a lot of the mascaras with more beneficial ingredients to your lashes do have, unfortunately, smudged during my day. Next, I was looking for a wonderful setting spray. I tried quite a few and found a winner, the Mad Love Set Me High Performance Setting Spray. I use the regular setting spray with the oil control setting spray because this is more hydrating to my skin, and using the oil control setting spray alone dries out my skin pretty significantly. It makes my under eyes more crepey and makes the lines around my eyes more pronounced, so I mix these two. These products contain skin-friendly ingredients such as hyaluronic acid. Finally, on to clothing and accessories. This year I purchased the Poplex activewear created by Cassie Ho, also known as Blogilates. I had been seeing their activewear and hearing so much about it, so I purchased a couple of yoga pants. My previously loved brand for activewear was Beyond Yoga, which is buttery soft, super flattering. This product, the fabric on it is very smooth. It looks a little bit more shiny compared to the Beyond Yoga leggings, and therefore, because it's not mattifying, I feel like it makes me look bigger, and that is something that is unflattering about the garment. However, I do like their leggings a lot. They have pockets, which the Beyond Yoga leggings don't usually have, and it is shaping. It is flattering to the body in regards to the cut of the item, so I do really like it. The yoga pants were previously cited on their website to be pet hair resistant. It is not completely pet hair resistant. They have since removed that claim from their website. I feel like definitely my long-haired furry friends' fur ends up on these yoga pants for sure. I have to use a lint remover, and of course that doesn't remove everything from black clothing. Finally, I was looking for silk scarves to try and use for hot tool free curls, as well as something to sleep in to prevent frizzy hair in the morning. And I purchased but haven't really used these products, but they are so beautiful I had to include it in the video. And it's kind of a shame that I will be wearing some of these products at night, because look at this. It is a little wrinkled, but these products that I purchased from this company are 100% mulberry silk. It is from Mi Bolsa. To protect your hair at night, I'm pretty sure you can buy a yard of plain mulberry silk fabric from a fabric store that has that available, and you'll have the same result. I just wanted a pretty scarf with the stitching on the ends. I also purchased this beautiful ribbon. I was going to use it for heatless curls, but it really didn't work just because it's not thick enough. But this is so pretty. I am pretty sure I'm going to be wearing it as a ribbon in my hair for the spring and summertime. Mi Bolsa London gives a card holder with every purchase. I love card holders. That's what I use. However, I don't see myself using this because this doesn't have a zip. It is made of leather, which stretches out pretty easily, so I do have a feeling that my many cards that I will be loading onto this would stretch out the pockets, and I would be afraid that the cards would fall out of this card holder. So I don't see myself using this product, but it is really a nice thing to be giving to clients with every purchase. So I probably will give this away because I really don't want this collecting dust in my closet. I also purchased these products directly from the manufacturers. I just wanted to support the businesses specifically. I found out that with some of the big box stores that offer these wonderful products, they also don't align with my values either. And plus, I get to support these smaller businesses, which have been a pleasure. Some of them have had the most excellent customer service. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one, and I hope you guys have a terrific day. Bye!